I would just ask all Georgians and all Americans to continue to keep these families, these educators, and these students in your thoughts and prayers.
We're also following breaking news in Georgia after a shooting at Apalachee High School this morning. That's about 50 miles northeast of Atlanta. Police tell us a 14-year-old student started shooting just before 9:30 Central Time. 4 people are dead, including 2 teachers and 2 students. Officials also took 9 others to the hospital for their gunshot injuries. Now, investigators just wrapped up their latest update in the last 2 hours. Here are 3 things to know from that update. There is currently no evidence of another shooter or a list of schools being targeted. The victims were identified. The 2 students killed were both 14 years old, and those in the hospital are expected to recover, and no more fatalities are expected. Now, we are not naming the alleged shooter tonight. News 8 does not name suspects until they are formally charged. But of course, Maddie France has been following the story for us all day long. Maddie, what did you learn late tonight?
Hi, John. So many people being hailed as heroes tonight, including the 4 people who died. We just learned who they were. 14-year-old students, Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angulo, and the 2 teachers, Christiana Irami and Richard Aspinwall. Law enforcement rushed to Apalachee High School. They received reports just before 10:30 Eastern Time Wednesday morning of an active shooter on scene.
We were in class and I heard the shots. I heard it was 5 or 6 shots.
The teachers came in and they were like, everybody get on the floor, cover yourselves. We were all hugging each other.
2 school resource officers found the 14-year-old shooter first.
Once they encountered the subject immediately surrendered to these officers and he was taken into custody.
I was scared. I had so much fear, I'm still shaking.
Sophomore Alexandra Romero took this video as she was evacuated. Students were sent to the football field.
We got a whole school to get evacuated, people. Come on now.
They're telling us to run.
While they waited, parents flocked to the school, some parking as far as a mile away to get to their children.
I said, son, please tell me you're joking. He said, no, Mom, I'm not joking. He said, they're shooting in the school, and the shooter is right across the hall from me.
Never before happened over here.
Area hospitals received the victims. 2 students and 2 teachers were killed, and 8 students and 1 teacher were injured by gunshots.
Hate will not prevail in this county. I want that to be very clear and known. Love will prevail over what happened today.
Schools will be closed for the rest of the week to allow the investigation to continue. Grief counseling will be available to those who need it.
As a school system, we are here for you. We support you. And we are ready to get you any support that you may need as we grieve through this together.
Sheriff Smith says investigators interviewed the shooter earlier today. He's currently in the county detention center and will be charged with murder. The director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation says he will be tried as an adult. He also says the shooter used an AR platform weapon, a semi-automatic rifle. It's still unclear how he brought that weapon into the school. John?
All right, Maddie, thank you. The FBI also released a statement in the last 3 hours. The organization says it looked into online threats in May 2023. In that statement, the FBI says it referred those threats to a Georgia sheriff's office. Those investigators interviewed the then 13-year-old boy who is in custody for today's shooting. They also interviewed his father. The FBI says after last year's interview, there was no probable cause for an arrest or to take any other law enforcement action. Vice President Kamala Harris addressed the shooting at a rally today in New Hampshire. She says this is another senseless tragedy which worries parents when sending their kids back to school. Here's part of what she said today.
We had fire drills, but our kids are sitting in a classroom where they should be fulfilling their God-given potential, and some part of their big, beautiful brain is concerned about a shooter busting through the door of the classroom. It does not have to be this way.
Former President Donald Trump has not publicly commented on the shooting in Georgia today. However, his running mate, J.D. Vance, posted this on X this afternoon. He says his heart goes out to everyone affected by the violence as the school year began. He also says he's praying for that community tonight.